guys, it's me, Julian Greystoke. I'm wearing my strong female character shirt. Today we're going to talk about something that I've written recently that I think y'all should go check out and read for yourselves, and you can read it for free on my Wattpad right now as we speak. Links in the doobly-doo. That is The Gun Horse. Do you like zombie apocalypses? Do you like animals? Do you want to see some animals on a zombie apocalypse where the animals don't just die? Then The Gun Horse might be for you. I have been reading some books recently that were zombie books, and in most zombie media, animals either are useless or get killed for the pathos. And I wanted to write a story that was from the point of view of an animal during the zombie apocalypse, and in a zombie apocalypse where animals are actually useful. And thus, The Gun Horse was born. The Gun Horse follows Kodiak, who is a horse, and Macy, who is a cattle dog, as they experience the zombie apocalypse and find a place to be useful in this new, different, and frightening world. But don't just take my word for it, let's read an excerpt. It all began with the bad smell. The sun was setting golden behind the trees, and I was in my pasture, enjoying the slightly drier late summer grass, and noting the added tang of the first fall of autumn's leaves when I smelled it. At first I thought I had nosed my way into a pile of raccoon scat, but I raised my head and the bad smell was still there. It clung to the insides of my flared nostrils like vile pollen. I wrinkled my nose and huffed out a mighty breath. The smell was like the death stink that came from the butchering shed after my human killed a deer, only there was something under it this time. Deer or fish or even turkeys have their own unique dead smells and alive smells. This wasn't like any of those. This was more like the entrails that my human discarded after he had finished. The more I breathed, the more bad smell filled my nose and my mind. I swiveled my ears around and raised my tail. I even trotted around the pasture, searching the dense tree cover, the path down the long driveway. I eyed the human's truck, in case it was somehow the source of the badness. That noisy box on wheels was known to produce some noxious fumes from time to time. Today, however, it sat cold, unused. My human had been inside all day, only coming out to let Macy and Buddy urinate, which was apparently not allowed in the house, and to feed me my breakfast. Before I could make a second circuit of my pasture, I was stalled by several decidedly unnatural sounds from the house. I snapped my head up, cupping both ears towards the building. My skin quivered as if 1,000 flies had all landed on me at once. I wasn't afraid of the rattle in the wind of the trees or the hiss of the long grass in my pasture. I had learned that the tarp on the ground wasn't a threat, even though it crackled and fluttered unpredictably. My human worked long and hard to ease each and every one of my fears. He used me to get to some of his favorite hunting spots, so I was even used to the cracking explosion of gunfire. Now I heard the report of a gun, so unnatural coming from inside the house. The splintered shattering of glass, the barking of 2 dogs. I couldn't see what was happening. The windows reflected the trees that shifted uneasily as I did, in a breeze infected with the vile smell. I was about to start trotting again when one of the dogs let out an unnatural cry that set every nerve in my body afire. Once I had heard a coyote killing a rabbit in the night, and the scream that little animal made in the end, this sound was worse. That terrible, twisted pain sound that made me dart to the farthest reach of my pasture and stare back at the house, hoping that this time the pools of glass would offer me an answer. I needed my human. Where was he? The front door crashed open and Macy shot out as though someone had lit her stump tail on fire. She careened across the yard and ran all the way to the tree line before turning, her ears pinned and her fur up. I snorted, just to let the spooked cattle dog know I was there and watching. I wanted to call to her, to ask her where my human was, but I hesitated. Macy and I had learned to speak to one another both verbally and with body language over the years as friends. Buddy, the golden retriever, was a bit slower, and sometimes he still had trouble, but not me and Macy. Now, though, she wasn't looking at me. She was staring at the house, with eyes wide as 2 moons. Another cry came from the house, this one human. It wasn't as tortured as the one the dog had made, but my skin still twitched. Fire ants of panic were crawling across me, and, like Macy, I couldn't take my eyes from the now open front door. So that is a little taste of The Gun Horse. Obviously it goes on from there. This work is, I have discovered, a novelette. Too long to be a short story, not long enough to be a novella. I don't know if it's going to stay that way, but for right now in the form that it is in, you can check it out on my Wattpad. definitely encourage that. After it's been on there for a little while, to see if anybody has any interest in it, then I will probably be trying to figure out if there's any place that I can publish a novelette. If anybody knows that, comment below and let me know. But if you're looking for a story that is a unique take on the zombie apocalypse and you want something from an animal's point of view, definitely consider checking out The Gun Horse. And if you like what you read and you want more zombies and my writing at the same time, check out my self-published novella, Phoenix. You can get yourself a copy on Amazon, either for Kindle or in print. You have choices. Remember everyone that I post new videos here Mondays and Fridays. All the links to my social media are in the doobly-doo. Go check those out, and I will see you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!